Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Nike Lebron 22. So this is LeBron James's 22nd signature shoe with Nike, which is absolutely insane. And this is the crown jewel colorway, and it is still available on Nike, and it retails for 180 bucks, which is one of the most expensive shoes that Nike has to offer. But they did reduce the price from the LeBron 21. The LeBron 21 was 200 bucks. The 22 is 180 bucks. So they decreased the price by 20 bucks, which is great. I love that. And pretty much the text stayed exactly the same, which is also amazing, right? So if you guys do want to cop, try to leave the free link in the description box. And if you do choose to get the shoe, it does help me out if you buy it through the free link in the description box. And also, a lot of you guys have been asking me what socks I've been wearing in all my videos. It's actually my brand. It's called Young Hone. And the socks that I'm releasing, we have two colorways. It's just white and black sock. And I kind of wanted to make a very versatile sock, right? So I wanted to make a sock where I could go out and be very comfortable, right? But also look good. And also a sock that I can work out in and also hoop in, right? So it's not a basketball specific sock. It's a little bit thinner for the padding. It's not as well padded as like a basketball specific sock, but it still has a bit of padding, which does feel great. So yeah, that is available for pre-order, and I'll try to leave a link in the description box if you do guys want to get it. And as always, thank you guys so much for all the support. If you do order it, it'll take a couple of weeks to get it because it is a pre-order. So thank you guys so much for all the patience. But yeah, let's get it started off with the Trazione. So in this colorway, we have pretty much a fully translucent outsole, and it is a decoupled outsole as well. So it is a separated kind of like forefoot and heel. And how's the traction? So first of all, when I first got it, it was absolutely horrendous, right? So even like just on my wood floors, I mean, it was pretty dirty, you know, that my dogs are shedding. I do have dogs, and I guess I need a vacuum, but I do vacuum a lot. It's just, I guess it's just super dry or something, right? So it was not sticking at all, and I was like super freaking disappointed in the traction, right? And then I took it to the court, and then also it's super dry there right now because, you know, the winter season is super dry in Cali for some reason. And so yeah, I really hated playing in these shoes, right? But then I kept playing in it, and then it got better and better and better. So you do need to break the shoe in, right? So once you do break it in, however, it does get really good on a clean court, right? So for example, like a couple days ago, I was playing in this shoe and I was slipping around, right? I was sliding around a little bit. It was very dirty and also very dusty. But you know the guy that cleans up the courts, right? So he came with the mop, and then he was, you know, like the really flat, like wide mop. It wasn't wet. It was just a dry mop, and he was just kind of like dusting the entire court, right? So then he did that, and then I went back on to play, and then it was really good. So yeah, if you are playing on a clean court, you do need to break it in for like a couple days, and once you do, you have a really nice, really hard stop, which I did like. And also this shoe does squeak a little bit once you break it in, right? But also, again, it does pick up dust, right? So if you're playing on a slightly dusty court, after you break it in, you're gonna be fine, right? I feel like, you know, the wipe is kind of hard. It's not a super easy wipe. You really need to get in there and wipe off all that dust. But once you do, if you're playing on a slightly dusty court, you're gonna be good to go, right? You're gonna have really good stops. And also another thing that I really liked about this shoe comparing to like the LeBron 21 is that it doesn't slide out dangerously, right? So the LeBron 21, I was playing in it alongside the 22, and when it was super dirty, I would slide out very dangerously. You know what I mean? So I did hurt myself. I kind of like strained my Achilles, like my ankle a little bit in the 21, but the 22, it doesn't slide out dangerously, right? It just doesn't have a good bite, which I do appreciate, although it's still like it's not great on dust, right? So slight dust, you should be fine. Moderate dust, you're gonna need to wipe a lot more. So just be careful with that. It's just like, you're gonna need to wipe a lot, right? So probably I wouldn't recommend it on like a moderately dusty court. And heavy dust, like a really dirty court, do not get this shoe. It's just gonna be picking up dust really quickly. You're gonna need to wipe a lot. And then, you know, once you do wipe, you get like 1 or 2 really good stops, and then it'll pick up dust really quickly again, right? So, yeah, dust performance isn't the best, but again, you know, just slight dust after you break the shoe in, it'll be pretty good, right? So, and then for durability, you should be okay, right? The rubber is kind of soft. Like I can move the rubber just a tiny bit with my fingernails. But the grooves are deep and thick, so I feel like it'll be okay on an outdoor court, but probably not the best. So yeah, I definitely did get better, right? My first impressions, I was like, yo, this sucks. This is gonna be terrible, I feel like. But hopefully it breaks in, and it did break in, you know what I mean? But again, it's not the best for dust performance, which definitely does suck. There is a like alternate Monopoly colorway. You know, the first Monopoly colorway, the one with kind of like the textile material or like the canvas material, that one's translucent, but the blue one, it looked like it had solid rubber. So maybe that'll be better on dust. But again, I did play in this colorway only. So just from my experience, the dust kind of sucked, right? So there's that. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, overall it is pretty smooth and does have a little bit of springiness to it as well, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape. Although this foam is really freaking caged, it actually allows for a little bit of compression still, surprisingly, right? They're using Cushlon 2.0. So here in the heel, it's really smooth, very, very soft, right? So once you land here in the heel, you know, when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, it feels very smooth. And then coming here into the forefoot, we have a very nice rounded shape as well. And a good amount of flex, right? But then there is a nice bit of tension to it, and then a good amount of springiness as well. So when you're kind of like going out of your first step and also going down the court doing heel dominant strides, it has a very smooth feel. And then coming into the forefoot, it has a little bit of springiness as well. So yeah, the overall heel to toe transition feels very, very smooth. And now moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup is amazing, right? So I definitely feel like it's the best cushioning setup that, you know, LeBron's entire shoe line has, right? So of course LeBron's had a lot of crazy cushioning setups, but in my personal opinion, it's just too much. I guess like the LeBron 11 was really nice, you know, with the drop in midsole and the full length zoom in. But anyways, the modern kind of, you know, setup that LeBron has in his shoes, right, from the LeBron 20, 21, 22, which is pretty much the exact same setup, is super nice, right? So here in the forefoot, we got a top loaded zoom turbo unit, and then here in the heel, we have a bottom loaded very large volume zoom unit with a full length Cushlon 2.0 midsole. And like I said, we have a good amount of compression here in the heel, which does feel comfortable, which feels soft. And also on heel strikes, impact protection, you're gonna be good to go, right? It's not gonna hurt at all. It also gives a nice little bounce and rebound back here in the heel, surprisingly, right? So with the Cushlon and also the zoom unit, that's probably what's kind of like giving it a little bit of bounce, right? And then also obviously in the forefoot, you have a nice bit of compression and bounce from the zoom turbo unit, which feels nice, right? So yeah, and also it pretty much encapsulates the entire forefoot, the surface area of the forefoot. So you do feel the entire forefoot being bouncy, which does feel great. So the overall court feel, I would say, is around average, maybe a little bit worse than average, but it's not, honestly, it's not that bad, you know, especially comparing it to his older shoes like the LeBron 19, the 18, you know. So yeah, it just does everything pretty dang well. It gives nice bounce, underfoot cushion, and step-in comfort is great. It has nice compression here in the heel. Impact protection is good, you know. The overall court feel isn't the best, but it's not bad, you know. So yeah, I really like the cushioning setup. And now moving on to the upper. So the upper also is not that bad, right? So this colorway is using synthetic leather, and there are different materials that they are using in different colorways. For example, in the Monopoly colorway, they are using like a canvas type of material or textile. But here in this colorway, we have a synthetic leather and we have a lot of holes, right? One thing I really don't like about this material, however, is just it gets super freaking dirty. I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but there's a lot of scuff marks, you know, a lot of people stepping on my shoes, like even on here, right? And I can't really even just wipe it off. It just stays there, you know? So that's one bad thing about it. And it also is basically like a really light gray color. So that kind of sucks. But overall, it's actually like, even when you break it in, it's really soft, you know? So it's really soft, can force your foot extremely well, but also it feels very supported and kind of has like that cozy type of feel, you know what I mean? And obviously it's not the thinnest type of material, but I don't really mind it all too much. It doesn't feel super bulky. So I honestly, it feels great on foot, especially here in the toe box. Same thing here in the midfoot. However, in the midfoot, it feels a little bit more glued down and a little bit more sturdy for overall structural support of the upper. And then for the tongue, we have a nice bit of padding here on top of the tongue with this kind of like embroidered kind of pattern on it, you know what I mean? It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And we also have this kind of like a jewel thing going on here at the top of the tongue. It's a triangular pyramid, and it also says 22 with LeBron's logo on the bottom there. And also here in the ankle area, we literally have the same exact type of foam that they've been using since the LeBron 20, right? So the 20, the 21, and also the 22 is using this really nice kind of like memory foam type of material. It feels great. It feels really comfortable, although it's not like super thick for the padding. Because of the foam that they're using, it feels really plush, right? So yeah, I mean, for 180 bucks, I feel like they should have given us like real leather, and like a really nice quality leather at that. But honestly, it feels really nice on foot, you know what I mean? So, and also here in the heel, we got the cord. You know, this is a pretty cool design as well. I like what they're doing there. So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fits, I went true to size, and this shoe fits me perfectly, right? And the shoe fits pretty much exactly like the LeBron 21. So if you know what size you were in the 21, pretty much go the exact same size in the 22. However, the 22 is a little bit more relaxed here in the toe box, right? Just a tiny bit more relaxed, which I honestly don't really mind. The 21 is really snug, and I can't curl my toes up at all. The 22, I can curl my toes up just a tiny bit more, and with this kind of like synthetic leather material, it has a little bit more forgiveness, right? And also, I feel like this material feels a lot better than, you know, like that synthetic material that the 21 has. But anyways, yeah, so lengthwise, I'm good to go, going true to size. Nice snug fit here in the toe box, and widthwise, it is slightly narrow. So yeah, it's a really nice snug fit for me personally, and if you do like a nice snug fit, go true to size. But if you want a little bit more relaxed, you should be fine going up half a size, right? And then also here in the midfoot, it's more of like a normal width, so it's not super narrow. So there is the fit there. Moving on to the support and lockdown, I was good to go. You know what I mean? So lateral containment, this leather material or synthetic leather material is supportive enough for my foot. So I had no issues with my forefoot going out of the footbed at all. I guess if you're a really big dude, maybe it'll, you know, you'll experience it a little bit. You know what I mean? Because there's really no lateral counters, but honestly for me, I was fine. So I feel like most people, you should be okay, right? Also here in the midfoot, we have this kind of like saddle design, right? Kind of wraps all the way here into the top of the lateral side, and also on the medial side as well. So of course that'll be good for torsion support, but also it comes up acting as a sidewall, and there's an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good to go, and like I said, I feel like most people, you should be fine, right? Also lateral stability, yes, they finally gave us an outrigger, right? So a lot of LeBrons in the past, they did not give us an outrigger, and also they were so much higher up off the ground with the cushion. I don't know why none of his older shoes had an outrigger, right? So the LeBron 15, the 16, you know, 17, 18, not super wide, but this one, look at this, a very, very wide base. You can see how wide it is here. So lateral stability was very, very good for me. And no issues with lockdown, right? You know, once I tightened up the laces, my foot felt locked into the shoe here in the midfoot. You know, it's a really nice snug fit for me, and I had zero issues with heel slippage. So yeah, overall support and lockdown was really good, and obviously it's for LeBron, so they better make the shoe supportive, right? In which they did. So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe. So LeBrons have not been known for being lightweight, but you know, his new generation of shoes like the 20, 21, and 22 have been a lot lighter, right? So his older shoes, especially the LeBron 19, was like 18 ounces, which is crazy heavy, right? But this shoe, it's a little bit heavier than average. You know, the average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces, and this shoe comes in at 13.8. Let's check the other shoe. 13.8 ounces. So it is, you know, an 1.3 ounces heavier than average, right? But it's not super heavy. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I don't really mind the weight at all. Obviously, if you're looking for a really lightweight and very minimal shoe, this is not the best option, but I really like how they give you like a really nice, comfortable and cozy feel, especially with the upper. So I don't really mind the trade-off as much. And also, when I was playing on a clean court, I really enjoyed playing this shoe, right? It had really good stops. The cushion, of course, was really nice. Support was great. And the overall upper felt really supportive while being really comfortable, right? Although it's not really minimal. So yeah, I did enjoy playing this shoe. But when I was playing on a super dirty court, I wasn't a huge fan. So there is the weight there. Moving on to the ventilation. Nope. Yeah, you do have all these ventilation holes, but there is an underlaying material. So pretty much there's no airflow, right? And again, like I said, this material is a little bit thick, so yeah, your feet are gonna be pretty warm, right? And now moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. I feel like it looks pretty dang good. I like the double swoosh design. The Monopoly colorway looks great. But as far as like the 20, 21, and 22 goes, I feel like I like the 20 the best, and then the 21 and 22 are tied for me, right? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, so this shoe broke in pretty nicely for the traction, right? And again, when I was playing on a clean court, I thoroughly did enjoy playing in the shoe. But again, like when I was playing on a dusty court, I didn't really like it as much. So yeah, if you are playing on a slightly dusty court, you should be fine. If you're playing on a moderately dusty court to a really dusty court, probably definitely stay away from the shoe. But also maybe the solid rubber option might be better on dust, but just I haven't tried that, so just take that with a grain of salt. But overall, this shoe is really nice. I liked everything about this shoe besides the dust performance. And also, I feel like this shoe would be good for most people, right? So if you're a guard, you should be good. You know what I mean? Again, if you want a really minimal and really lightweight shoe, then this isn't the best option, but you can definitely get away with playing in the shoe because it is a very responsive shoe when you're playing on a clean court, right? Also, if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine as well. It has ample cushion, you know, it's adequate cushion, and also support's great. So the Lebron 22 is definitely suitable for most play styles and most positions for basketball. It's just the only thing, of course, again, is the performance on dust, right? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Nike Lebron 22. Again, if you guys do want to copy, try to leave in the affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.